All right, and on that note, we going into the bonus. Boop boop boop. Yeah. So
That guy in chat.
dude, that guy in chat was so bad.
I mean, his boner kind of went away. It just was against his will. And I completely forgot to show these.
It's
Well,
all
you need to
good.
contact his physician if it was lasting more than 4 hours.
His balls were so
Yeah, really.
small. Well, show him now. This is what bonus is for.
I
Yeah.
told him that I was tempted to tell him that he should just find a door and shove his cock in and just shove the door into it. That'll get rid of it pretty quick. But
I had to get rid of him. It was getting out of
I
control.
thought one of you knew that guy.
No, absolutely
I thought
not.
Nick did.
That guy was a.
Because he kept saying like us by name, and so it was like, okay, somebody knows him, maybe.
Yeah.
Just think of a Hillary Clinton striptease and it'll go right down.
Austin Powers, like Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
I'd take Thatcher over Clinton any day.
So that pizza crust thing I was mentioning, by the way, our
Hey.
one buddy. All right, we would get like on top of everything else, we would order usually Papa John's, which back then I was dumb enough to think it was good pizza.
Oh, that's.
But we would
so
order.
bad.
No, Papa John's is hot garbage. But we would get Papa John's. We'd have these big pizzas, and we'd eat it. And like growing up, I rarely ate crust on pizza. Like unless it was actually a good crust, I just wouldn't eat it. So I'd eat through my pizza, but I would leave the crust because their crust just left a lot to be desired. We had this one buddy, Ian, who.
Oh, you're gonna call him out? Well, all right, whatever.
He's not going to see it, and nobody knows he's going to see this.
All right.
Anyway, so our buddy Ian, he would go, and after we were done, he's like, "Hey, you want your crust?"
Yeah, he'd be like, hey
"No."
Greg. He'd be like, hey Greg, you want your crust? And like Greg would be like,
Crust.
yeah, and Greg would be like, no, and then like he would just scarf it down. So one day we decided to pull a joke. It was kind of a joke, but it was in good nature, and he didn't get upset. One day, one wrestling day, we had the crust. Greg had his crust, and the other guys left. I put the crust in like a Ziploc bag and brought it to school on Monday. And we were like, hey Ian, you want some crust? And he actually ate it too. Yeah.
Man really liked crust.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't getting fed enough at home.
Hey, but don't
I
feel
was
bad.
going to go there, but I mean.
I used to feel the same way about crust too. I was like, man, there's no cheese or sauce on there, just gross crust. I don't want this shit. I'd never eat it either. So
I was a crust man. I'd always take
yeah,
that.
no, I eat it now, but yeah, I never
Yeah,
used to
if
eat
you
it
find the
before.
right crust that's good. Like a good pizza place, the crust is usually worth it.
That's the thing. We never bought I never got any of those chain pizza places when I grew up because my town didn't have any. We had like
Oh,
I
weird.
don't know. The town I grew up in was like super Italian, so we had pizza places
And-
everywhere.
We used to go to Little Caesars like a motherfucker, man. And that was before they had it's not like Little Caesars what it is now. It was like a legit like pizza place, so we'd go there all the time.
Oh man, you guys sounds like you had the best. I didn't have any good pizza places in Houston, and here like you just didn't really know any better. You just thought like, oh, the pizza chains are just what you had. Like, you know, it's the only selection to get. But yeah,
Does anybody else have any other gaming swag that we didn't show on the main thing? Because I got a couple of items right here that I was going to talk about, but we kind of ran out of time.
Oh yeah, speaking of Game Genie, I have the Genesis Game Genie right here. I kept it in this little Ziploc
yeah,
bag.
I have that somewhere too.
Yeah.
Way in the box.
But it was a good mention.
I
It
have
looks
one.
like-
Just for comparison, the Suikoden 2 box art, nice,
Much
and
better.
Japanesey.
Yeah,
compared
much
to
better.
That hot garbage from earlier. I don't know.
That
Guess
was
they thought like Americans weren't gonna want a Japanese game when that's all like me and my buddy were obsessed with them.
that was of Mega Man 1 quality. That box art from Suikoden.
Oh yeah, actually I have that one lying around somewhere too,
And-
just to show how awful that box.
I don't know if it's because they think like they probably thought back then, oh well, like the main character looks kind of like a kid, you know, maybe it wouldn't appeal to people. But if you're a kid and you see something around you that looks younger, wouldn't you be more inclined to play it? Because you'd be like, oh, I can be like him too, you know?
Look
Oh.
how bad that is. That is
Yeah.
just like the Running Man meets Sadness.
It's very bad. Yeah.
terrible.
And they don't really get much better. Like they look more like Mega Man. But they look like Mega Man that I drew in 4th grade.
Oh, that's great.
One of some of the two games that really shaped my early PC gaming experiences was number one right here.
Yes. I thought you were gonna mention that too.
You should do
Yeah.
a PC version of this
One
show.
at a time, and then number two.
Nice.
Of course.
Not that this made me play any better, like Counter Strike strategy guide.
Yeah.
But I just felt like this is gonna give me the leg up, man. No, it didn't. I can't aim. So
A piece
we
of
did
game
a-
I was obsessed with as a kid was StarCraft. When that first one came out, I was crazy about that. That game is actually, I credit that with teaching me to type, because I had to get that fucking God mode cheat in before those Zerg would descend on me. I think it was like level 3. Like the level starts out and there's just like a horde of Zerg coming down at you, and that's how I learned how to type quickly.
I think mine would have to be Age of Empires 2. Nick and I had some pretty hilarious moments with that game.
Indeed, we did.
Being assholes with cheats.
Which we didn't get time to mention it, but to bring up, I wanted to pose the question: if if some of our favorite gaming memories had a re-release or remaster, did we play it today? And to kind of transition from what you just said, Greg, we did. They re-released Age of Empires like kind of like an HD re-release ish, and we played it for a little bit. It wasn't like the past, but we still had like a little bit of fun with it, right, Greg?
Oh yeah.
yeah, I
A
mean,
lot
you're not
harder
gonna
than I
have
remember.
not gonna have those endless hours on end, to play something. But back to like those re-release, like I talked about Metal Gear Solid earlier, and I never played Twin Snakes on the GameCube. That's like one of the things that I've been meaning to do since it came out, like over 10 years ago, was to go back and play the remake. Which one day I hope they remake the NES game, which is weird because a lot of the games in that series reference that game or tie back to that game, but it only ever existed on NES.
Yeah.
No, it's on one of the, I think maybe Metal Gear Solid 3
No, yeah.
Subsistence had it on there.
No, I'm
but-
talking about
Yeah.
the full remake. Like,
Oh, they need to fix a lot of stuff in that game.
Oh, ooh, if they could remake that. But it's a shame Konami kind of disbanded. So the idea of even even thinking of a sliver of that happening is like slim to none. But to bring it back to Twin Snakes, believe it or not, guys, that was the first version I played.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
You still have it? Because good luck finding it. Like, it's not particularly expensive, but it's hard to find.
Yeah, I believe I still have the copy. My brother has it stashed somewhere in his room, so
I would buy it in a second if I saw it somewhere, but I've never seen it like in the wild. Like
I think it was. Didn't they release like a legacy collection that included all the games? I think.
Yeah, but it didn't include
PS3.
Twin Snakes because
It
that's purely Nintendo, that release. So when they did that Legacy collection, it was the PS1 version of the game, obviously.
It was the PS1 version of the game?
What in Legacy?
Yeah.
In the Legacy collection, yeah, yeah. The PS1 version of the game was on that Legacy, I believe. But yeah, I just thought that was a good remaster. That was a true remastered, where it was a generation ahead, and it basically took I want to say the engine of Metal Gear Solid 2, and pretty much remade the game on that. And then of course there was Nintendo Easter eggs. So the first time you meet Otacon, the desk, you see a Yoshi and Mario plush. And when you shoot it, they make the respective Nintendo noises. So I thought that was kind of cool. But it's kind of shameful, but I'm kind of proud at the same time saying that I played it the first time on that particular system. To talk about a remastered in my memory, I didn't bring up Ocarina of Time because I thought somebody else was gonna bring it up, but that was definitely a cherished game memory of mine. Just the first time full-fledged 3D Zelda. And if I had to talk about the re-release, the remake, that definitely was. I mean, that version was the way the developers envisioned the game to be originally. So definitely got to play that, and it definitely didn't make the water temple as pesky as it was on the N64. So definitely the
that was actually
definitive.
disappointing. I mean, I was really when I finally beat the water temple, I felt accomplished. That was, so rare do I ever actually like feel like I achieved something in a game these days. Where the Water Temple was one of those moments where, I was really stuck on it. When I finally beat it, I was pumped. Like,
Yeah.
I called my buddy up. I'm like, I got out of the Water Temple. He's like, oh no way, man, how'd you do that? Lost. That's why.
That's too funny.
But all the Suikodens, not all, but I think 1, 2, and 3 are all out on the PS Store. Just I haven't played them just because I have them all, but just because they're hard to find and they can be expensive, they're good ways for people to get to it. And then another remastered from my childhood, which I talked about a few episodes ago, was Grim Fandango Remastered. Another great PC game, LucasArts, and I love how in that one they incorporated like the developer commentary like edition, so like director commentary on a DVD. That's the only time I've ever seen that in a game, and I hope that's a trend that catches on.
So how does that work? Do they only talk when you click on something, or?
It goes like when you're going through the level, like when you get into because it's an adventure game, so it's kind of a slow pacing. So when you go into certain areas, like it comes on and stuff like that.
Cool.
But it's a neat feature. I wish more games had the option to put it on.
Well, it's kind of weird because with games, obviously you play at your own pace, so it's kind of tough to be like when they're gonna insert background dialogue.
All right.
Hold on, no, let's just keep staring at each other.
Okay. Well, I want to bring Greg into this conversation because he's obviously talking too much. But a little debate that they almost jumped me because of you, Dimitri. And a couple weeks ago you came over to play some Smash Brothers for the first time. Was that your first time playing the Wii U Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
And what'd you think of it?
Popped your Smash, Jerry.
Well, my Wii U Smash, Jerry. It was alright. It was better than
Brawl.
Brawl.
Better than Brawl? Yeah. Well, so I told the guys that, you took it upon yourself to take off the items. And, I guess they want to know why, because they started questioning me, and, they're ready to put me to the stake. And I was like, hold the fuck up. I'm just the messenger.
Because you're going to play, a real fighting game, or you're just going to dick around until somebody gets, the stupid sledgehammer and gets lucky and knocks everybody off the screen or something.
Well, I mean, that's the shtick of Super Smash Brothers, though, is the items. It's just like Mario Kart. You play Mario Kart to race with the items, but if you take the items off, it's just a shitty racing game. I mean,
no, but at its core, it's a competent fighting game, so you're trying to, Because me, Nick, and Carlos, the other dude that was there, we used to play, Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom, and there's, a competitive aspect to it, and once you introduce, all the crazy items, there's not really much competition. It's just whoever gets lucky with a Pokeball that gets a good Pokemon, or the sledgehammer or whatever. So that's
the
why.
sledgehammer is OP, I will admit it.
So that's why we turned it off, just to have a slight more competitive edge to it.
Yeah, and the only thing we kept in there was the final smash, so that wasn't too bad. But
yeah, but if you're doing 4 people who don't really care either way, then obviously you just turn on all the items. But we were going for a competitive angle a little bit too.
Yeah, because that's just what we do. When me, Dimitri, and this other guy make the gathering. Yeah, it's a more competitive scene. Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I don't actually think of Smash the same way I think of Street Fighter or other fighting games. I think of it more fun, more arcade. It's not as serious of a Tekken or a Street Fighter.
But they have Ryu in it.
Well,
in Smash Brothers, yeah.
Not on my version.
I suck at fighting games, so I'll take the advantage if I can get it.
Yeah, I'm not great at Smash. When we play, I'm definitely more forward to the Mario Kart than the Smash.
So we get on that Splatoon, and then Nick will just wait for the other 2 games because we'll just destroy him.
Well, Splatoon needs to get the the group play.
Yeah.
At least get the chat going.
No, well, we can always use Skype, but really, I can't wait for them to implement the party system where we can actually play together, because that's what we want to do.
Well, a better version of it, because you can join a friend, but it's you might be on the same team, but you might not.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a roll at the dice, and it wouldn't work out for us. So and we haven't even bothered. It was just a lot of our Nintendo Wii U nights usually consist of Mario Kart and Smash.
What else is there for it to consist of? I think that's pretty much it.
Well, Splatoon, once they make that update.
Well, yeah, but just supposedly coming in August, so.
Or if Nick could just get a PS4 first instead of an Xbox One, and then we could put Rocket League into the rotation.
Nope, I'll just wait for that cross-play update on Rocket League.
I hope they never do. It's just out of spite.
That is a fun game to play with other people. I was actually just doing like 2-on-2 with a buddy of mine. And we were like setting it up. It was like, "Yo, hold back! I'm gonna bank it off the wall." And we were winning. We were beating this one team so badly. They were like, "Are you guys bots?"
Nice.
Because it was like 7-0, like after like a minute.
Holy shit! There's
nothing better than playing an online game against other real people to when they start calling you a cheater. Like, yo, you're fucking cheating, man. You're hacking. Like at the height when I used to play Counter-Strike all the time. The original one, I used to get called a cheater sometimes, and there's no better feeling. Motherfucker, you think I'm that good?
For a little while, I played that game Tom Clancy's End War, which was kind of like an RTS game. It was one that had the voice commands, which didn't really work great. And it was a really simplistic game. Like, if you broke it down, like, it was kind of like rock, paper, scissors. Like, I think, like, helicopter beat tank, tank beat infantry, like, artillery beat tank, like, stuff like that. So it wasn't that hard to kind of get a feel to play, but a lot of Europeans were really into that game. And I would talk so much shit to him when I would beat him. I remember beating this French kid one time. He's like, "Oh, America sucks. Like, fuck America." I was like, "Dude, you rolled over quicker than you did in 1939. Like, what's your problem, man?" I was like, "I see why Germany steamrolled you guys."
Woo.
Same thing with FIFA. I like talking a lot of shit in FIFA too when I play, especially if it's like a South American or like a European. I'm like, "Man, this isn't even our main sport. I'm gonna go watch a baseball game."
Oh, you dick. That's awesome. Well, I guess I think we got like a good little spillover conversation here. So, on that note, we will end it on that, and take care.
So what, dude?
All right.